So Ruth is now replying. What I was trying to say was that Taros could make the game easier since it allows players to have access to gumballs, potions, and vehicles. They might not be required to complete the game, but they do give Taros a purpose. I don't know where you're getting this from, but mysterious vendor items are not special occasion items. The developers originally intended them to be permanent additions to the game and hint that they are going to be reintroduced in the future. Yeah, I agree with that. They're not very special. In fact, it was a definite upsetting thing that they took it away. But in terms of the trading community, they got really happy. I came up with the idea of reintroducing items to the game through a limited time throwback shop so that newer players would have access to them. It is based on a system that another game that I play has, where they occasionally reintroduce previously unavailable items on Throwback Thursdays. Yeah, I like that idea, and I think that if new players want to have access to these items, instead of going through a person who has a monopoly of them, they could just get them for like 100k. 100k for a brand new player who is not level 36, it's quite a lot for them. Just because an item does not aid gameplay does not mean that it holds no value. And no, I am not protecting the value of specific items. What's the point of making them free as opposed to giving them a cost? Yeah, that's what I was also criticizing Rome of what he was trying to go say. It's kind of twisting their words, stating that they don't care about economy at all. At least Slavin and Ruth, they understand that items have value, but it should not be worthless. Right here, I am not stating that the economy is worthless, and Ruth, you should take that with sincerity too, because Ruth on the fall day, she has a very extensive thread, so she knows, she has the experience of it. She's very involved inside the trading community. If all you want to do nowadays is argue with other users about the economy, then I guess that FusionFall and many other games is not for you. Okay. So these are pretty much just some rebuttals right here. I pretty much just said what Ruth stated. And so here we have Slavin with this very long, just very long quotation. I have nothing against grinding. My argument was that I wanted almost every item to be grindable. Okay. I never said I wanted it to be easy or even quick. I think you are misunderstanding what I was arguing. Items like the Clockwork Set and Alien X Mask should be reintroduced into the game so that people cannot hold a monopoly over them. If you argue against that, you are greedy, no other way to put it. Yeah, I 100% agree. And like, I would not call myself greedy because I know, ever since the Tech Camo shoes and the Sapphire Angel shoes, they got fixed, I realized that the devs have no intention of making things worth of uber value. That was I actually caught onto the sign early. It took the big show wing collapse for the trading community to really understand that items that are worth of uber value, it can collapse. Even if every item was currently grindable in the game, you would still have demand for certain ones. You guys that are pretending that hoarding items and then selling them for a stupidly large amount is how the game should work miss the point. My argument with the exclamation point and question mark hat was misinterpreted by you. Also, I don't mind those being exclusive since as far as I am aware, they are non-tradable and you cannot force a value on them. They are meant to be a thank you to the players who stuck around and supported the developers through the early life of this game, making their rarity understandable. You cannot put a price on a thank you, in my opinion. I definitely do agree. Some of your other points, Taros do affect my ability to play the game. As I said, the developers face problems mainly caused by players like you who have way too much of it, so they design ways to get rid of the excess with things like the faster cars and mysterious vendors. If you pretend like locking items behind such a wall is not affecting us, I don't know what to say to you. So I think what Slavin is trying to portray in the perspective between the rich, the middle class, and the poor is that the rich are hoarding everything, and that, or like the top 1%, they have everything, and the middle class and the poor class, they want to get it, but it's too expensive. Even like that's understandable, because grinding 600,000 taros, that takes a long time if you were to remove the multi-accounting. But otherwise, as Rome stated with the whole Balenciaga analogy, if you really want it, then you got to work for it. But again, that's complicated. I'll give you an example. Say you are 13 and playing this game, and for some reason you decide you want to cosplay as a construction worker. Okay? And you realize they have a hat for it. It's your lucky day. But guess what? You come to find out that you cannot even attempt to grind for it, as the way to get it no longer exists. So you ask around to see if someone would trade it to you. Someone says in the trading forums, yeah, I have some, I want X amount for it. You are floored it would take days or weeks to grind the amount they want for it. Now this is the problem, this is the part that I disagree with, but I can understand. Let me go continue reading this. So there you are with no way to play the game how you want to look, just because of the rarity of a construction cap is artificially inflated. I don't think it's artificially inflated. It's the item is like that because the supply is low and the demand is high. And it just turns out that the people who have the majority of the supply are the 1%. It's interesting because I can also see a real world analogy for this in terms of socialism as well as capitalism, but that would be getting kind of political, so I won't talk about that. But the part that I agree with this, but the part that I do disagree with would have to be this line right here. Your flority would take days or weeks to grind the amount they want for. Now, in terms of a brand new player, if you can just look into the most expensive items, like the construction helmet is worth 500,000 taros. Okay. How long does it take to grind 100,000 taros? It doesn't take a long time. If you were to grind the Volcano Vaulters under one character, you can get at a reasonably under a reasonable amount of time. Now, 500k, you can get that in, I don't know the answer, but I know that it would take like 5 hours. If you were to multi-account, it would take you a lot shorter. But the thing is that if you're a new player, why should you grind many hours for one item that you simply just want to cosplay as, versus, oh, let me just pick up this other game that's not FusionFall that already has the construction helmet, and I'll just stop playing FusionFall for the new player. And so I can definitely try and understand what you mean by this. So, oh man, I have a lot to say. I fundamentally just have a lot to say about this thread. It's only 2 pages long, but